Dylan helped me move my bed that my mom had to put in the room. It was one of the few pieces of furniture that we didn't need to buy new. We moved it so that it was under the skylight. He then laid my bags next to a tiny closet. He plopped down on my bed. He motioned for me to join him on the tiny single. I giggled and snuggled next to him. He wrapped his arms around me and kissed the top of my head. The door flung open. Carl came in. "All right, we're done. Dylan, why don't you and Gianna go bring your things to your house? You should come down for dinner at 6. She emphasized your house. Carl didn't like Dylan too much, but she was making an effort to be nice. "Sure thing, Miss Farber. I'll bring dessert," he said politely while smiling. Carol faked a smile. I glared at her. She snickered and walked away. "All right, let's go," he said while playfully smacking my hip. "Hey!" I giggled. "Reached to the car," he said childishly. "You know I'll win," I laughed. I knew I would win because Dylan would let me. "Psh! Oh, please, like that'll happen," he laughed. I ran for the door, but before I could even get there, Dylan ran and grabbed me by the waist and walked me over to my bed. I laughed and tried to escape. He dropped me easily. I should have pretended to cry, but I didn't think about it then. He ran to the door and flung it open, and ran out of my room. I jumped off the bed and raced to the door. "Hey, you cheater!" I yelled after him. He laughed loudly. It was almost a bark. "I win!" he yelled. He was at the car while I was still running downstairs. "But you cheated! Rematch! Right now!" I laughed, still running at the car. He caught me before I could do any serious damage. He held me tight in his grasp to his chest. He was warm. We breathed in unison for a second. He pulled me into his grasp with his hands. He took one hand from my back and used it to lift my chin. I kissed his jawbones and then I found his lips. He crushed my lips with his. We kissed until I needed to catch my breath again. He kissed my forehead and stared deeply into my eyes. We stood in each other's arms in silence. It was broken by the sound of a passing car. I stared at the car. It was a mint-condition silver Volvo. I looked at the driver. It was the boy I'd seen at the gas station, and the girl was next to him in the passenger seat. The engine roared, and the car raced into a driveway about 6 doors down. "Well, I guess those are my neighbors," Dylan said. They exited the car. They were absolutely beautiful. It seemed like they were made by the gods. No, in fact, they were more attractive than the gods. "Wow, is it me or are they inhumanly beautiful?" I gawked. The boy crookedly smiled as he helped the girl out of the car. She smirked. She looked at me and smiled widely. "They are pretty sexy," Dylan said funnily. I broke my gaze to kiss his chin. "But I think you're prettier," he added. "Aw, thanks, baby." I kissed him again. When I looked back at the people, they were gone. Dylan helped me into the car and he got into the driver's side. We pulled into the driveway of a house that was 5 doors down from mine. It was slightly bigger. It had a sunroom on the side. That's what made it look bigger. "And this house is sexy," he laughed. "It is," I admitted, although the house was almost identical to mine. Dylan swooped me up into his arms and carried me over the threshold. I laughed. "Stop it, we're not married." "Not yet. And besides, practice makes perfect," he said while easily letting me down. He had bought the house fully furnished, and it was beautiful. He smiled and ran into the car to get something. "So what exactly are you getting for dessert?" I asked. "Well, I was planning to pick up my car from the dealer, and then pick up Italian ice from the pizza place we passed on the way here," he explained. He bought a car via phone after he sold his in Arizona. He was supposed to pick it up the day he got here. He'd bought the car. Sounds like I was cut off by the bell. "I got it," Dylan said while pulling me to the door by the hand. He answered it. His sexy neighbors were there, smiling. Well, at least the girl was. She looked just like Charlie. I couldn't help it, but she was too young to be my sister. "Hello," Dylan greeted. "Hello, welcome to the neighborhood. I'm Edward Cullen, and this is my wife, Bella," Edward said. "I'm Dylan Chase, and this is my girlfriend, Gianna Farber," Dylan said. We invited them in, and they accepted. "You can call me Bella, by the way," Bella kindly informed us. "Wow, you smell really familiar. It must be your perfume." "Oh, thanks, but I'm not wearing any. You must be smelling Dylan's cologne," I said softly. I took a deep breath and inhaled the aroma of our Armani exchange. "Yeah," she said, "you smell just like Charlie." My heart sank. I started to choke and cough. "Haha, gee, that's your dad's name. Isn't that funny?" "Are you okay?" Dylan said. "Yeah, I'm fine, babe," I said while coughing one last time. Edward's eyes widened as he stared at me. "So when did you guys move here?" Edward asked, quickly changing the subject. "Actually, we just got here today," Don explained. "How long have you two lived together?" Bella asked quietly. "Oh," I giggled a little bit. "We don't. I live down the street with my mom and half-sister. Dylan and I have been dating for 6 years, so when I told him we were moving, he sold his house and moved with us," I explained. "Oh, you live alone, Dylan?" Edward asked. "Yes, for 3 years. Since I was 16. Since my parents passed," Dylan explained. "Wow, I'm so sorry," Bella said while looking at the floor. "Oh, it's okay. I didn't really even see them. They were always at the office or on a romantic getaway. It feels like I've been alone my whole life," Dylan explained. "That's so sad," Bella said. "Yeah, a little," Dylan admitted. "But it's gotten better here when I met Gianna. She's all I'll ever need. She's my life." I snuggled next to him on the couch. He wrapped his arms around me and kissed the top of my head. "That's so sweet," Bella said. I smiled at her. "So where did you guys move from?" Edward asked. "Arizona. I've lived there since birth. My mom moved there when she was pregnant for me." "Dylan moved there 7 years ago?" I asked and answered. "Yeah, I met Gianna 6 years ago at a town fair," he smiled. "I remember the night we met. We were so little." I laughed a little. Edward was still staring at me like he was going to pounce. I felt Dylan's grip around my waist tighten. "So, Bella, do you mind coming to get some drinks with me in the kitchen?" I motioned. She nodded and smiled. "Thirsty, baby?" she asked Edward, who broke his gaze and sighed as Bella stared at him. "No," he said quietly. I stared at the kitchen. She followed me. "Dylan, did Dylan or I say anything to offend Edward? He kind of looks like he's really mad at us or thinking of a really good way to hide our bodies." "No," she laughed. "He's occupied by something," she explained. "Oh, so, okay. We have water, Coke, and Sprite. Any favorites?" I asked. No, I'm fine." "Oh, okay," I smiled. I poured a glass of Coke for both me and Dylan. We walked out of the kitchen. Dylan turned around. "Wow, you two could really pass for sisters," Dylan said. His mouth fell open. "Really?" Bella asked. She sounded confused. I gasped. "Wow, they see it too. Her dad's name is Charlie. My dad's name is Charlie. Could she really be my sister that I've always wanted to meet? But she seems so young. Looks my age. She can't be on a date over 19. Maybe she just ages well. Maybe," I thought to myself. Edward's eyes widened when I sat down next to Dylan. Bella stared at him and he sighed. It was like they were communicating by thought. Like they were on a different station from the rest of us. It was strange. I realized that whenever Bella focused on Edward, he sighed and calmed down. It was almost like she was controlling him. It was weird. Edward changed the subject again.